it makes Fire Force really hard to recommend to people because I'm like, the action's good, the music's great, sound effects is good, story's actually pretty solid. But there's a big but there. The fan service
Quite
is really
literally,
bad.
in many ways, more than one. That's for sure.
Yeah, in more ways than one. Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest podcast, the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. I'm your host, Mr. Nick with no K, the host with the most, who's always sleep deprived. And you might notice Jackson's not here. As he said last episode, he's taking a break for a while, getting married, doing the whole thing. Actually, when this episode comes out, he'll already be married, which is pretty cool. I was there. Yeah, I'm sure it went great and there were absolutely no issues whatsoever. But while Jackson's off getting married and going on his honeymoon and getting adjusted to his new setup and stuff, I'm still here with some special guests for these next couple episodes. And today, I'm going to be having just a casual chat about anime with none other than Podcast from the Christian Anime Podcast. Back at it again. Good sir, how are you doing? Welcome back to the show.
I am doing very, very well. I am not as sleep deprived. Well, I did sleep at like 11 o'clock because I was watching too many YouTube videos about something else. But you know what? That's perfectly fine. I haven't watched anime for a hot minute, but I'm still able to talk about it. So that's for sure.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. No news this week because we're technically pre-recording, so I don't want to talk about anything that gets out of date. But just to kind of get the conversation going, I know you said you haven't been watching anime, but what have you watched so far this year? Like, what's been your watch thus far as we're in May, 5 months
Actually,
in?
I can talk about spring anime because I have watched the first few episodes to just give a glimpse of it. Anyway, do we want to just head straight into Demon Slayer because that's what I've been.
Go for it.
That's what I binge watched. Oh my goodness. I'm really happy with Demon Slayer. You know what? Once I watched Demon Slayer, I see all of these JJK fans. There's a JJK stan at my church, and we argue about this. No, not argue about it, but we talk about it. About how Demon Slayer is genuinely better than JJK. And I know some people are like, oh no, it's not the most amazing story. But it's a story that does it well with a few characters it does. I know some people say, oh, it's carried by good animation, but you know, like even though the story isn't the most like mind-blowing, most original thing ever, it's still pretty good. Like it does it well because it's still got bad demons, good guys. You know, that's all I want. Sometimes that's all we want, right? That's all we want to see. We don't want to see this garbage where it's like, oh, what if the main character is having internal struggles? And of course, like Tanjiro does have his internal struggles and whatever, but it's not like as if he's evil, right?
Right.
And I think that was one of the issues I had with like JJK, right? Which is like, oh, I have Sukuna in me, and I'm like, am I evil now for letting Sukuna do all of these things? And I don't think it wasn't very interesting. It was. They tried to make it interesting, and then it was just one of those aspects of the story which I came to dislike because sometimes we just want like black and white. What is good? What is bad? And that's what Demon Slayer kind of provides. That's why it's also a Christian anime as well. It's because it's one of these stories that you don't see in the West now. Like Western stories are like how villains are misunderstood and they're actually products of their environment and blah, blah, blah. But what we see in Demon Slayer is like this guy who just wants to save his sister. And that's basically everyone. Like it's relatable to everyone that of course you want to save your family. Of course you want to protect your family. And to say that might be like that might be a bad thing, I guess. That's some people in the West might say like, oh, hey, you shouldn't have a nuclear family or whatever leftists say. So anyway, much to say about it. I don't want to spoil too much because I have all my videos on it coming out later
You have
this
a
year,
lot
but
of
that's just kind of the
videos.
teaser for it. Yes, that's how much. That's how much I love it. Like, it inspired me to make all of those videos, and like, for an anime to not have a lot of fan service as well. I know there's like 2 or 3 characters in it that are a bit spicy. Tengen in the entertainment district arc with his 3 wives.
Yeah.
So there, so those sorts of things are kind of but you know, they're not the main characters. They're not like the. Of course, we're looking at imperfect people, and that's perfectly fine. It's not like the end of the world in that sense. So, there's other things. Yeah, I'm super hyped for the movie coming out this year. I know the Hajira training arc. That was like I I read some of the earlier I read some My Anime List reviews for it before I watched it, and people were like, "Oh yeah, it's just filler. Nothing really happens." But I think for filler, it was really good because like we get to see these guys like do cool things. We got to see Tanjiro like meet all of the Hashira, um, and the ending of that arc. I don't want to spoil it for those of you who haven't watched it, but I think that was the most amazing hype train that could ever get started. Like I keep rewatching that last sequence again and again and again
Dude, me
because it's like the
too.
music
I'm like,
music is amazing. It's like dun 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 dun, and then when Zenitsu does the thing, and it's just like that's pretty cool. That's pretty. You've got me. I don't know. I don't need to watch the trailer for the. I'm take my money. Take my
I'm
money.
sold.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go watch it. Like yeah, that's it. So anyway,
I think it's
that's
fascinating.
it. That's
The movie comes out in 2 months and we still don't have like a full trailer. Because like usually by now you'd have like a minute and a half, like maybe even 2 minute long trailer that's like, hey, movie's coming out. I don't think they're gonna do one. I think it's just unless they drop one between now and like when this episode comes out. I think Demon Slayer is a big enough like franchise that you could just do like a 30-second, hey, tickets are on sale, and then 30-second, hey, the movie's out, and everyone's gonna be there anyway. Like you don't
yeah.
have to market it. And as someone who's read the manga and I know what happens, they're in a tough spot because it's kind of hard to market the stuff that's coming up because it could like lean into spoiler territory. And like you don't want to spoil the anime onlys who are coming like, oh, the movie's the next thing. So it's an interesting spot. I'm very excited for the movie. I have like a group of friends all lined up. We're all gonna go see it opening night. Like it's gonna be peak. It's gonna be incredible. I also love Demon Slayer. I want to rewatch the whole like series before the movie comes out. And I just did a video on it. It will be out after this episode. On how Demon Slayer impacted my faith. And then like I kind of like the second half was kind of like here's why I think Demon Slayer is a Christian anime, like kind of pointing out all that stuff that I found. And that was a really fun video to make. But to your point, Demon Slayer does have a very simplistic story, and I think it works with that really well. Cuz like not everything has to be super deep and complex like Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen, or like it doesn't even need to be super dark. Like it can just be, oh hey, I'm just a guy who wants to save my sister, and then in the process I'm going to kill demons and meet all these cool Hashira and like go on all these different missions, but the ultimate goal is to save my sister. And I think it does a lot of character stuff with it does a lot of character stuff in that like smaller like more condensed story, because it is really short compared to like other shonen series. I think it's 205 chapters, and then like My Hero just ended with 430, so it's almost double Demon Slayer.
But I think that's fine, right? Because even for me, like as someone who, because I get really annoyed very, very quickly by anime that go on forever and ever and ever. So I think 205, it's still not short, right? They were able to pump out a bunch of seasons from it, but at the same time, it was like I'm able to follow it. Like someone of my schedule, right? Someone who doesn't have a lot of time to watch anime. I think that's about the sweet spot because I couldn't imagine like getting into My Hero Academia right now, because of how big it is and just how many things I'd have to watch. And like 400 chapters, like, oh my goodness. But Demon Slayer is like really, really palatable to someone like me that's able to do it.
Yeah.
There are actually some complaints that I have with Demon Slayer, but they're not like big because, as I said, like yeah, as you've said, right? If it's a simple story, like you can follow the characters. This is what I don't know if I'll ever fully make it into a video, but this is one of the other things that Demon Slayer does really well compared to Jujutsu Kaisen, which is Jujutsu Kaisen. When they introduce characters, I still remember when they it's the Kyoto school and the Tokyo school, and then they do the fight thing, and you're introduced to all of these like Kyoto characters. And what they do, what was really annoying is they didn't let you see them fight. What they did was, hey, here are all of the characters, and here are all of their flashbacks all at once, and here you go. Now you have to care about all of these characters because we just gave you a flashback to make you care about them. What Demon Slayer does is it doesn't do that, right? When we first meet the Hashira for the first time, we don't get to see all of their flashbacks. And it's like, because if it was JJK that did that, oh, here's all the Hashira and here's all of their flashbacks. And there you go. Now they're important characters because we did that. But how Demon Slayer does it is that, oh, here's the entertainment district arc, and here's Tengen's flashback. And we're not going to do any more flashbacks for the rest of the season, except at the end where we flash back to the demons, but it's only because of the thing that happens to them at the end. And then we see the Swordsmith's arc, and then, yep, maximum of 2 flashbacks. That's one of my biggest complaints with JJK, which is too many flashbacks. But yeah, anyway, to some of my complaints, I can kind of see it where it's like, especially in the entertainment district arc, where there's like they beat the woman, they absolutely destroyed her, and then they added a new thing. She like evolved and upgraded, and then they kind of beat them, or then they kind of evolved and upgraded or whatever. And we kind of saw that in that tendency for Demon Slayer to do that, where, oh look, it looks like they're about to be beaten and killed, but no, they're going to be upgraded and whatever. That's one of my things that annoys me. But again, it's like, it's fine because it's like in a season, and it's like you can, and then they have a break, and then it's you see them do slice of life stuff and cool stuff. So I think for that to be spaced out is perfectly fine. And then JJK is just like, oh no, they're just going to keep upgrading, and they're just going to keep growing, and you're never actually ever going to beat the demons. Yeah, they're never going to die. And like it's I rarely have the urge to swear, but like, you know, this is one of the things where I say it's absolute BS, right? And I wish I could just say it in its entirety, but because JJK is exactly that. It's just, dude, you come up with some Garbaggio thing, and then it's just like, what? You know, I was invested in that fight, man. Like you could see like the power dynamics through it, and then you just do the thing.
Yeah, I'm like one of the biggest JJK haters. With the exception of like those first 5 episodes at the beginning of season 2, where it's like Gojo's flashback with the girl, and then the movie. I like all of that. Anything else, I'm like, no. I don't want a part of any of it. I rewatched that chunk, and I was like, man, this is good. If only this was the main series. Like, and I know some of that is because like the author did a one-shot that was like, the movie was his one-shot, and like he wrote all of that just as kind of like a proof of concept, and then got serialized, and it was like, oh, well, now I don't know what to do. So then we get Jujutsu Kaisen. So it is what it is. But yeah, Demon Slayer, it's good. It's good. I love it.
It's just good.
Do you have... So I know like shonen's not your thing. Do you have like another shonen that you're eyeing to watch when you have the free time?
It would have to be... Where's my plan to watch list? My ever-growing plan to watch list, because
Oh,
you
dude.
guys keep recommending me anime that I can never have the time to watch. Um,
The watch list
let's
will
see.
never be empty. It's a curse. Everyone goes through it.
Yeah. Um. Oh, I see a mecha anime here that I should watch. It's what's the English name? Brave Bang Brethren. I
Oh, I've
might
heard that one's good.
go through. Yeah, no, I was especially I have it on good authority. It's a Christian anime. I don't know how it's a Christian anime yet, but um, that's it. Well, I'm not watching in terms of spring anime anyway. I'm not properly watching My Hero Academia, but I am watching um, Vigilantes. So
Ooh.
that's and you know what? I'm happy with it. You know, like if this is my introduction to My Hero Academia and I don't actually have to watch the full series and I can just watch Vigilantes, that's fine by me, right? Because I think I did watch the first episode of it. I like the concept. I like that they're like budget superheroes. Um, I don't know enough about like the hero system to really make a comparison to it. But I think it's just like to the main series. But I think it's fine. Like it's cool that you have like these three vigilante superheroes doing stuff. Um, there wasn't really much set. Well, they did set up like the big bad guy who is giving drugs to everyone. Um, and yeah, I'm just interested to see where it goes. So it's just one of those things again. It might be a simplistic story, but as long as there's fight scenes, I mean the girl's cute. As long as there's cute anime girl, I'm always gonna be okay to tolerate it. But other than that, it's pretty good. I like the main character as well, even though it's a really lame. He has a really lame superpower, but it's okay. It's okay because that's it, right? That's the whole premise of the show, which is like normal people being vigilantes. Anyway, so
Yeah.
that's another shonen anime that I've been eyeing, and I'll probably keep watching because it's captured my interest. So, and if this does impress me, maybe I will eventually go to My Hero Academia proper. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching Vigilantes. I'm way far behind. I need to catch up. I got really busy, and I also like gave myself this rule, and I've had it for a while of when dealing with seasonals, I either need to finish a show before I can like start the new season stuff, or I need to drop it because
Mm,
if I like I had stuff from the winter that I was trying to finish, and because I knew if I didn't finish it before I started like all the spring stuff, I was never gonna finish it. Um, so I had to plow through and finish Blue Box because I hadn't finished it yet, which was good. I
what
enjoyed
did you
it.
think of that ending? Yeah,
Okay,
without spoiling
so
too much.
the ending, I liked it, but it also felt kind of awkward. Like it was just an awkward spot to end where it feels like we need like one more episode to wrap up that like little like mini arc and not end it there. Unless that's just how it is in the manga. I haven't read the manga. I kind of want to. I was like really in the manga for the first 3 volumes, and then I was like, oh, I'll wait for the anime. And then I watched the anime, and I was like, man, I don't really feel like I need to continue the manga. Like I don't know. I don't feel like I need to. Like I can just wait for the anime at this point.
Mm,
Um, I got really invested in the love triangle, and I thought that was good. I think it's one of the better written love triangles because I watch a lot
mm,
of romance anime. I've seen a lot of bad love triangles. Um, so that was good. Obviously, I'm Team Hina. I will die on this hill. I like her infinitely more than Chinatsu. Um, I just feel like she has better chemistry with Taiki, but that's just me. I also feel like Chinatsu kind of like let the moment go by, and he kind of started moving on, and then she noticed he was moving on, so she like started pulling him back, and I'm like, bro, you can't do that. You got to let it go. Um, So
It's these older women, man.
yeah.
Like they just do that. They just do that, I think.
I think this might be the first time I've like watched a romance and sided with the doomed to fail love interest. Because usually I'm on
Doomed to
board with
fail
like the main
childhood
ship.
friend.
Yeah, I'm like, what? No, not the doomed to fail. So, but no, I think it's good. The animation quality is stellar. How they make an anime look that pretty, I don't know. But you know, it looks good. So I finished that, and then I started this week. I started like 4 shows this week. I've been watching Vigilantes. That was my one exception. And then this week I started the Netflix anime Moonrise, which is pretty good. I've been enjoying that. I like the sci-fi futuristic stuff. What else did I start this week? I watched the first episode of Witch Watch, which was good. All you had to say was Yoasobi on the OP. I'm in. Like, I'm sold. I'm in. With the exception of Beastars. That's the one where I'm like, no, I'm not. No. Mm-mm. I won't watch the furry.
No
anime.
furries for me. That's for sure.
So that was good. I think that has a lot of potential for a good rom-com. And then I also started, what is it? What is the, how do I pronounce this? Because I get the Shiunji Family Children, the other anime by the author of Rent a Girlfriend. I went in expecting nothing. Okay. So, okay. I went in knowing that he was the author, and I'm like, okay, this is not going to be good.
It's going to be garbage, yeah.
It's going to be trash. And the whole thing is like, oh, they're all siblings, but then they find out from their dad that they're actually not blood related. So now they can all date each other, and it's cool. So I was like, okay, me watching this anime is going to be highly contingent on how they justify the switch from siblings to not siblings. So I watched the first episode, and I was like, okay, this is kind of funny. Like, it's all right. And then they went the route of they're all adopted, with the exception of like 2 that are twins. So I was like, okay, it's the better option.
It's perfectly fine.
It could be worse. And then throughout that first episode, like, they all still have this mentality of like, well, we're all siblings anyway. Like, not being related by blood doesn't necessarily change the fact that we've all been growing up as siblings together for the last like 15 years. So as of the first episode, it's all right. It gets a pass. It's leagues better than Rent a Girlfriend. But also when you put the bar under the floor, it's not that hard to, do better. So I've been watching that. I need to start Fire Force. I've been waiting for the dub because I'm lazy. And I also need to start Windbreaker.
There you go.
And I've also been waiting for the dub on that because I'm also lazy. I think that's all my spring stuff. Oh, no. Can a boy-girl friendship survive? That's the other one that I want to stay caught up with. Because it looks good, and I need like a good rom-com to fill the...
I wouldn't say it looks good.
Is it not? Have you watched it? Man.
I watched the first episode. Not a good... in terms of like, let's see. On a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of romance. So 10 is like Clanad kind of area. 8 is like Blue Box. Your Lie in April. 5. No, we'll go 0 as -1 as Rent a Girlfriend. Kubo is kind of like... Kubo-san is like maybe a 4 or 5. And I think Can a Boy-Girl Friendship Survive is around 5. Maybe a 4. Yeah, I want to see your thoughts on it if you ever continue watching it. I'm only planning to watch the first 3 episodes because I've got a video. I haven't watched it, but the question is there, right? Can a boy-girl friendship survive? That's the title of the video with brackets, no, and explaining why you shouldn't have boy-girl friendships like that.
No.
So and hopefully the first 3 episodes will give me enough material to explain why it's a bad idea. And I think the first episode, like, it sets it up pretty well. Animation's kind of well, it's like, it's serviceable, right? You can still watch it and like not vomit, so that's good. So it's the absolute bare minimum, but I'm not other than for the fact that I'm making a video out of it, I'm not really I don't have the drive to watch it, to really watch it. So yeah.
That's fair. I want to watch it because I like romance, and I'm like, as soon as you said like animation is not that great, I'm like, oh, that's just par for the course. Like, romance anime are a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. Half of them have like low tier, low budget animation where like, oh, they're it's always like shot waist up, so we don't have to animate walk cycles. So that part I understand. I have a knack for like, there's something about these niche romance that I like get really into. I'm like, hold on, this is really good. Like,
don't do it. Once you start getting into the niche romance, you'll get on the level of please put them on Takemine-san.
No,
like,
no. I've seen like all the news.
This is how
it
starts. This is how it starts. It starts with Shikimori's not just a cutie, and then can a boy girl friendship survive? And then you start going. No. Of course,
Shikimori's
I
actually good.
trust
That's
Nick.
the problem. What was the one I watched? It was a winter one. I think it was like I'm getting married to the girl I hate in my class. It's like some like long light novel-esque title, and I watched it because I was like, oh, the trailer looks funny, and then I started watching it, and I'm like, hold on, this might actually be good. It's not peak, but it's good. And there was a lot of I thought about doing a video on it, but then I just didn't have enough like to say to flesh it out into a full video. But there was a lot about it where it kind of dives into like how to make a marriage work, because they like do get married in the first episode, and you know, they're like school rivals and they don't like each other, but they have to find the middle ground and like compromise and do all of this stuff. And there's a little shenanigans.
They got married. Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, it was good. I had rated it a little higher than I thought I was going to. But there's stuff like that. There was another one a couple years ago. It's like the inexperienced you and the experienced me or something. I watched that one all the way through. I was like, dang, this is kind of good. I think it's in my top 20. Romance anime.
Oh, really?
Hold on.
All I remember from that one, what was it? The inexperienced you, right?
Yeah. I think that's the English
title.
name.
I remember this one. You know, the one thing I remember about this, you want to know? It's on Twitter.
Where is it?
On Twitter, I remember this because there was a scene where it's like, the girl's like, this is your first, but this wasn't my first like kiss, and I wish this was my first kiss. And it was like, I'm sure it's the most like sad scene in the anime. And then that was put on like some grifter account, some like incel grifter account, and then all of the people in the comments were like, yeah, no, it's time to hang her, because like that's a that's a woman moment right there. And I was like, I feel like I wish I want to see your thoughts on it if you saw that on Twitter.
Oh, I did. I had, which was funny because like I had the full context of the anime, because like the whole premise and the reason I could get behind it was she had fallen into this like mindset because this guy asked her out and she was like, yeah, sure. So then she takes him back to her house and like is like starts undressing, and she's like, oh, like this is what you want to do, right? And he's like, well, yeah, but also like I feel like we should get to know each other first. Like it should be something you do with someone you love, which there's a whole different like Christian perspective on it. But the premise is like them actually dating and getting to know each other, and him showing her like, hey, there's a lot more to relationships than just the physical side, and like you don't have to just put out every time that someone asks you out. And she kind of goes through that like, oh, well, I wish I had saved all my firsts for you because you are such a nice guy, and like the regret that comes with that, but then also being like, hey, it's okay. That's life sometimes, and the best we can do is live and learn. And there's a lot of drama, but it was handled in a more mature way than I think most romance would. So I really like it. I liked that perspective on it, of because it is almost a very like Christian perspective in a sense of like we all have done things that we regret doing, right? Like we all have those things. It's like, well, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But then if you approach it with a repentant heart of like, well, I shouldn't have done that. That was wrong. I'm gonna do better in the future. That's kind of like part of the Christian experience, especially when you have someone who's encouraging you to be like, hey, it's okay that like, or it's not okay that happened, but like, you don't have to feel bad about it. Like you can be remorseful, but not like let it drag you down for the rest of your life. So it was good. It's number 13 out of 45 on my list.
Okay.
So almost top 10, but not quite.
Not quite.
So that's another one of those. It's like it was a little more niche. Like I never see people talk about it. But I'm like, no, I love this show. Like it's
except good. in the Twitter context, because I don't want to do a rant right now about that side of Twitter. But I think that's hearing you talk about it, I think that's an amazing thing, because obviously there is like healing and reconciliation, and you have to do something about these sorts of people, right? And it's like, it's not as if we as Christians like just abandon them and we're like, no, you shall now be celibate forever, because that's one of my on the more like trad incel kind of section of right-wing anti-Twitter, that's one of my main complaints about them, which is like they haven't actually talked to a real person and they don't know what the real world is like. But I appreciate stories like that where it's like, no, there is healing. You're not just broken. You didn't just break at that moment that you did it. It's kind of like some of those purity culture vibes where it's like where purity culture might say that no, you are broken now, but no, there is healing to be found in Christ Jesus, and even outside of Christ. I think that is having that attitude is way better than saying, no, you're for the streets, woman. So yeah, it's
a really bad argument. Terrible perspective to have on people. But yeah, no, that one was good. I know there's a lot of romance in the summer, so I'm like kind of just biding my time.
You're excited for the summer?
I am. Do you have any other spring shows that you're watching or going to watch, or are you watching Fire Force? Because I saw you did a video on it.
Yeah, I did do a video on it, but I didn't. I liked where it was going, but ultimately my big thing against Fire Force is it's just like unnecessary fan service, and like it's fine with me because it's not like I can still watch something and still be like normally watching it, but I think it's just there comes to a point where an anime can be so in your face about it that you're just like, I'm gonna stop watching it, and that's kind of my thing with Fire Force. Again, like amazing story, I'm sure. I did like where it was going. It's just that once you do those unnecessary things, I'm gonna drop it. So that's all it is. I think there's So I would have, but it was really easy to get into it because apparently this is the final season ? Of Fire Force.
It's supposed to be, but then they're splitting it into like 2 parts. They're pulling an Attack on Titan.
Oh, so so there's a 3rd season and final season.
Yeah, it's season 3, and then season 3 part 2, which is just season 4. I don't know. Everybody's trying to like jump the final season gun because My Hero did it, and Attack on Titan did it, and Demon Slayer's about to do it with the movies. So they're like, oh, quick, throw final season on there. It'll get us hyped or whatever. No, I have the same issues with Fire Force. I love, love, love the sound design. The sound effects they do for all the different powers and stuff, like, it's incredible. But the fan service is a bit much. And it sucks that, like, it's mainly all relegated to one character. It's not even, like... Because sometimes with fan service, you're like, okay, this is spread across multiple characters. Like, this is just a broad problem. But then with Fire Force, it's like, yeah, some of the other female characters have it. But most of that is just like, oh, like, you know, your bog standard, like, run-of-the-mill fan service type stuff. And then there's Tamaki, who, like, her whole power is that her clothes just fall off randomly. I'm like, okay, man. Really?
That's fantastic.
Couldn't have come up with anything better.
That's real convenient in it.
So it sucks. It makes Fire Force really hard to recommend to people because I'm like, the action's good, the music's great, sound effects is good, story's actually pretty solid. But there's a big but there. The fan service
quite
is really
literally in many ways, more than one. That's for sure.
Yeah, in more ways than one. So I'll probably start it at some point. Fire Force is one of those shows I wait until the whole thing's dubbed and then I just binge through it and call it a day and then I wait for the next thing. So there's not really anything else in the spring.
In terms of other spring, no, I am watching Lazarus. Oh well, I liked Lazarus, the first episode of it. I know it's very it's kind of veering on that made in America kind of thing, but I think it's fine. There's a woman president in it. The president of the United States is genuinely Janet Yellen, or whatever her name is. You'll if you're into politics, you'll kind of recognize who it is. But Lazarus, I'm interested in it because there's a lot of biblical allusions, namely Lazarus, which is like Lazarus who walked out of the grave, right? There's like Babylon. There's literally a tower called or like a city called Babylon, and one of the people I made this joke while we were watching it together on the Christian Anime Discord, and then I was like, oh look, there's a gay person in the city of Babylon. I know they weren't being intentional in it, but this was like a thing. So I think there's a lot of biblical allusions in it. It looks pretty cool. It's very sci-fi. You've caught my attention with like the cool action sequences at the start. Sorry, I haven't even explained so those are the biblical allusions, but Lazarus is all about, there's this drug, which was, there's this painkiller that's this guy invented, and then, everyone's had this painkiller, and then a year later, this guy, the scientist, disappears. 4 years later, the scientist comes back and he's like, all right, guys, this painkiller actually had a virus in it. And all of you guys who took the painkiller, and it's the whole world who took the painkiller, you're going to die in 30 days unless someone finds me and finds the MacGuffin, the vaccine. And then this group called Lazarus is the one that's trying to find him and try to find the vaccine to save the world, basically. So pretty cool. I'm interested and that's why it's so cool, because it's like Lazarus is going to resurrect humanity, because humanity was once going to die as a result of this virus that was spread, but now they're going to be resurrected through this group called Lazarus. So I'm interested in that, in the biblical allusions of that. And am I watching anything else for the spring? I think that's it. Oh, and Your Forma, which is Psycho Pass, but budget Psycho Pass, and it looks like it's got a 6.25 on my anime list, and four not recommended. So I might actually drop that after the third episode. So yeah.
I wanted to watch Your Forma, but it's on like the Samsung TV app in the US. Like, it got the most random streaming distribution that I've never heard of. There's that.
I guess it's time to buy a Samsung TV, Nick. Like, that's the.
And then there's a bunch of there's a new Gundam that's exclusively on Prime, which I always hate watching on Prime, because even though we have like Amazon Prime, we still get ads. so it's not even ad free.
Oh, that's rough.
So I'm like, no, thank you. And then there was another one that was on Prime that I wanted to watch that looked good because it was, oh yeah, From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, and it's like an actual fantasy anime, not an isekai that is masquerading itself as a fantasy anime. So I'm like, man, I'd love to watch those on Prime. Oh, that's great. Lazarus is on Adult Swim, which I don't have cable.
Nah.
So I'm like, apparently it's on Max, so I'll just wait until it's done airing, and then I'll borrow Max from one of my friends and binge watch it. Because I also want to watch
There's
Lazarus.
also Anne Shirley, actually. I forgot to mention that. That was on my thing because it looks pretty wholesome. But I'm probably not going to ever watch, like, because it looks like a wholesome country anime where that called Anne Shirley. And I've seen some people talk about it, but I might not actually get into it. So there you go. That's my spring.
Yeah, that's fair. What's so great and also kind of hard about being a content creator is the summer and the fall are going to be really busy. Because I feel like the summer and the fall just keeps getting stacked. Because like the summer, Don Kaiju, Bunny Girl Senpai, Sakamoto Days,
that's right.
Gachi Akata, Dr. Stone, Rent a Girlfriend season 4. There's a lot. In the
Did
summer.
I tell you I dropped Sakamoto Days?
No. Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
I think it's like respect for every, because I've just realized something. I had a massive epiphany about Japanese comedy and all anime that have like the comedy tag on it. And I'm like, that's why I don't find it funny. It's because I know you, because Spy Family, I've heard some people say like Spy Family is funny and Sakamoto Days is funny. What's your view on that?
I feel like
Before I go into
Spy Family and Sakamoto Days are not the same kind of funny.
Sure.
Like Spy Family leans into the more like traditional comedy, but Sakamoto Days, I feel, and I think we're like 5 episodes in, and even then, like I'm watching it with friends from church, and I'm like, this just ain't it, dude. Like I've heard it's good, I've heard the story's good, but I just can't get into it. And I think the other problem is a lot of the comedy in Sakamoto Days boils down to, oh, Sakamoto's fat, or Sheen can read minds, like. And that's where a lot of the comedy stems from. Where at least Spy Family, I think, has a little more variety, because it does a lot more creative things with Anya's not teleportation, telepathy. So that's just my take, but I want to hear what you've got to say about it.
So my massive epiphany. So my tradition of comedy has always stemmed from, and I've always appreciated, British and Australian comedy, which is very dark, can be very dark sometimes, and it's very situational as well. It's meant to be witty. It's meant to be very clever in the situations that they're put in. And then I've just realized that a lot of Japanese comedy is very slapstick. It's very like, let's put you in a random situation. That's why I thought like some of the things were weird about like Spy Family, which is like, one of the first scenes that comes to mind is when, in the first season, when Lloyd gets the whole castle rented out, and then I was like, that was really weird. Like, that's weird that they were able to do this and that they were able to like get the castle rented out just to celebrate Anya's thing. And then I realized, oh no, that's what Japanese people think is comedy. They think comedy is putting people in the most random situation possible, and just throwing stuff at you to see what it does. And I get that some people like that, but definitely not for someone, and I'm not speaking from like a, oh, look at how intellectual I am. No, it's just that I'm from a different tradition of comedy that is meant to be a bit more witty, or it is also situational, but they don't like just throw things at you, and it's very, very dark as well. Like and Japanese humor is not very dark, and that's why it's just like, yeah, because Australian humor is so dark, I'm kind of desensitized to other humor, which is doesn't fall in the same vein. So that's just my epiphany, that why I didn't find those things funny, and why I don't find often Japanese comedy really funny. But maybe like something like Konosuba can be witty actually at times, and it can be dark as well at times. So that's why I appreciate Konosuba a lot more. But yeah, that's kind of my take on it. So if you like it, hey, that's just your thing, and that's it. It really depends on what sort of comedy. When you think of the term comedy, what are you expecting from an anime? And if it meets your expectations, like, I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. But for someone like me, it's just like, no, it's too random for me. It's not like it's not witty enough or dark enough for me to really enjoy it. So
That's fair. Is that why you stopped watching Sakamoto? Was just
and yeah, that's one of the things, right? And why I'm not gonna get, because as much as I do love the cuteness of Spy Family, I'm probably not gonna continue Spy Family as well, because it's just like, I think what was the last episode I ended on? I think it was when they did the sniping competition, and I was like, yep, that was cool that they definitely shot at each other and Sakamoto survived, and look how cool Sakamoto is in this, like, the not a snipe, it was an airsoft competition, that's what it was. And then at the end you expect they won. Nope, they didn't actually win any money, because they had to pay the bills for the town to be repaired. And is the money issue ever going to be solved? I hope so, but again, like, it's meant to be funny that they didn't get the money. See what I mean, right? Like, it's like, see how funny it is. So that's kind of my feel, and I'm sure, like, for some people that is genuinely funny. Like, haha, look, they didn't actually get the money because they and look, they actually got turned on each other, and look how homeless this guy is, because he's all he's good at is sniping, but he doesn't actually work well in an assassin's corporation. And you know what? Like, it's just those things. It's just those things that it's just Japanese humor, and I'm sure you'll like it if you do. So that's it.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll probably finish it just because I'm watching it with a bunch of friends from church, and we're making our way through it. Doesn't mean it's gonna get highly rated though. I don't know. I'm trying to be more honest in my ratings, because usually, like, if I watch an episode, I'm like, that was good, 4 stars. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little high. 4 should not be my average. The average should be like 2.5 or 3. So I've been trying to get a little more honest.
Sakamoto Days on a 5 actually. So yeah,
that's fair.
5 out of 10 for me.
So what are you looking forward to most in the summer? Like, looking at the release slate of the summer.
I saw Call of the Night season 2. I'm not gonna watch it, but that looks, if something actually happens in season 2, I'll commend it for that. Like in season 1's Call of the Night. Otherwise, I'm pretty hyped for. Well, I don't want to say it. We've had this argument on the server about Bunny Girl Senpai, because I know a bunch of people really liked Knapsack Kid, and they really liked Sister Venturing Out as well. And I can still remember, like, watching those movies and feeling disappointed. And I was like, you know what? Is Bunny Girl Senpai really overhyped, or is it just like these movies are something that I really didn't enjoy? So then I rewatched the main series, and then I was like, this holds up really well even after what is it, 7 years now, seven,
Holy
8 years since it
moly,
last
really?
released. Yeah, I know. I feel old. I still remember watching it in high school and still being impressed, and I rewatched all of it recently, and I am still impressed. And I think my main problem with post Dreaming Girl Bunny Girl Senpai is that it doesn't have the same. Sorry, I just hit my mic. It doesn't have the same climaxes as it did in the original series, because in the original series, right, it's like and they don't really have a well defined adolescent syndrome either, because it's like in the original series, it's here's the adolescent syndrome, here's them dealing through the problem, and then here's like this absolutely massive climax where like Sakta goes and confesses his love in front of the school, or like here's Tomoya Koga. I'm fine spoiling it because it's like it's been 8 years. You guys should have watched it already. Or when Tomoya Koga like cries her feelings out, or when Ryo Futaba when Sakta runs through the rain and then to get to Ryo Futaba, or that moment where Nodoka and Mai are in that room and they hug each other, or at the end of Kaida's arc, where that was one of the best climaxes ever, where it's like Kaide writes all of these things down and then she disappears. In Dreaming Girl, right, where it's like everything just fits in, everything's been set up, the butt kicking joke is there as well, and it's been used in an amazing way. And then and that's my main problem with like the other movies. With Knapsack Kid, it was kind of okay. It was better. And then there was Sister Venturing Out, which was, I don't know, it didn't have that. It was just like the same energy throughout the movie, and it's just like nothing really happened other than she ventured out. Like she finally did venture out. So that's I really hope that, because I love Bunny Girl Senpai, right? I absolutely adore it. And you can see how much I love it from just how much I love the original series and the Dreaming Girl movie. But after those two other movies, which were, even if you are massive fans of the movies, I think you have to recognize that they are a bit weaker than the former. So as much as I am really hyped for the Santa Claus, Rascal Doesn't Dream of Santa Claus, I don't want to be so hyped that I head into the cinema, I watch it, I get the same experience as Knapsack Kid, and not only that, I've also paid for the ticket, so that also hits way more disappointment. So
Well, I'm pretty sure this is a season of the anime. Like they're going back to airing.
Oh, is it season?
It's not a movie. Because that's okay. I love Bunny Girl Senpai. I think it's great. My frustration is how they've handled distribution. It's like, here's the movie, here's the show, here's 3 movies that are not available officially anywhere, and now here's this like sequel season that is also like, the movies are required watching for you to understand where we're at in the season. So like, I still haven't seen the what's the first movie with the girl from his past?
Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl.
Yeah.
Oh really? No, you need to watch that,
because I've heard it's good. But that's
I
my
reckon
thing.
not only is it good, I think it might be a smidgen better than the original series as well.
Really?
So that's so that's how good it is.
Dang. Yeah, that one's definitely on my list for the summer. I could guaranteed watches. I think I'm at like 6. Because
I'm watching Kaiju number 8.
2.
That is Kaiju number 8 as well, as like
Dude.
one of the it's an amazing. I gotta say, it's a good shonen. So
I read the manga. I'm all caught up on the manga now, dude. Kaiju's good. I'm like,
okay,
it might be one of my new favorites. That's currently ongoing, because like now that My Hero's over, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta get into something else. So Dandadan and Kaiju are like my 2 that I'm really excited for. So
I might finally get into Dandadan as well.
it's good if you get past the first episode. It certainly is something. It's fun. It's wacky. It's kind of, but you also might not like it because it does have that more like slapsticky comedy, and it really leans into that, which I like. That's just my kind of humor. So I've got Dress Up Darling season 2, Dandadan season 2, Kaiju season 2, Bunny Girl Senpai season 2. I'm really looking forward to, I think the English title is The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, which is supposed to be like the top tier, upper echelon, greatest romance anime of all time. And I've seen like some bits and pieces from the manga, and it looks really good. My girlfriend's really excited for it, so I'm like excited with her to watch that. So there's that. What else is coming out in the summer? Rent a Girlfriend season 4. As much as I say I hate that show, I will be seated just to watch the slop. I'm part of the problem, guys.
I cannot believe you. I cannot believe you.
It sucks because season 3 was actually kind of good, and I know like that locking in is never gonna happen again. And then there's some other fringe stuff. Like there's a ton of romance that I'll probably start when they hit Crunchyroll, but those are like the main ones that I'm looking forward to.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I know I saw Chibi Reviews do a video on why Rent a Girlfriend is on its 4th season. And it is kind of sad. I feel sorry for Japanese men because apparently it's big in Japan. Like Rent a Girlfriend's absolutely like crushing it in Japan right now. So
I can imagine.
And I think it's just like that goes, and this is not to disparage like Japanese society, but there are like some genuine problems in Japan, to the fact that if this is your cultural export and this is like peak in Japan, like there is something deeply wrong with Japanese men. So yeah, that's my take.
It's Rent a Girlfriend has 374 chapters. This is like romance One Piece at this point. I was looking at the like chapter volume breakdown one day, and I was like, what do you mean this series has almost more chapters than My Hero? Like, what are you talking about? And apparently there's no like end in sight. It's not like they're getting close to the end. No, it's just, it will go on in perpetuity because it is really big in Japan, and I'm part of the problem as someone who watches it, even casually. But I also don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, I'm gonna pirate it because I don't want to support the show. I'm like, well, I'd rather support it and be part of the problem than pirate a show that's readily available on Crunchyroll. Like, and that opens a whole different. Piracy is a whole different conversation in and of itself. But yeah, the summer's gonna be stacked. And the fall's gonna be really stacked. Have you looked into the fall yet?
I'm looking at. I know I see a lot of continuing anime. Oh, there's the final season. The only thing that I've got my eye on is This Monster Wants to Eat Me. And just from why did I choose this? Synopsis says, I've come to eat you, so softly utters the mermaid Shiori as she emerges from the sea and takes high school girl Hinako by the hand. This looks like a Be Yuri, careful. So maybe I'm not. No, it does have girls' love on it. Okay.
You might, you're going to get Yuri baited. I started reading that. I'm like, oh no, they're going to get him.
Yeah, okay. Let's delete that. Let's not watch that then. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything of interest to me. Maybe, what's this? What's the English name? To Your Eternity.
Oh yeah, that's, I think, their final season. I think.
That looks interesting. But I might, okay, I hope other things show up, like other original anime show up by fall, because that's when I'll be in Hawaii. so I need some good anime while I'm there. So
yeah, I think they'll add more. The fall is just so far away that outside of the big ones that are announced, like One Punch Man Season 3, Spy Family Season 3, and My Hero, which in and of itself, having those three things in the same season together, that's crazy for me because I'm pretty sure those are all Saturday anime. So my Saturdays will be packed. My Hero's, like, I'm excited for Spy Family because I love it. And I'm like, I still haven't watched Season 2 of One Punch Man. But like
I
My
might
Hero,
get into that.
My
I
Hero's
might
the
get into
one
One Punch Man.
where I'm like,
Yeah, but that's your highlight right now.
yeah.
Okay, this is absolutely diabolical on my anime list, but One Punch Man Season 3 has 283,000 members. Spy Family Season 3, 129,000. And My Hero Academia barely on third with 85,000 members. So I don't know what's going on. I'm sure that'll continue upticking, but I guess the My Hero Academia fans just aren't showing their best on the on my anime list.
No. Which honestly is fine. I'm like, I love the show. I really do. But I'm also like, I can't wait for it to be over because the fandom can finally start dying off. Like, it's obnoxious. I'm actually like so done with it. But I'm also like not ready for it to end because I was kind of like, oh, well, you know, I have the anime when the manga ended. I was like, oh, I have the anime. Like, it's okay. I'll, you know, be able to go to the anime. And now I'm like, oh, My Hero ends by like December. They're only doing a half core season. There'll be 12 episodes based on what they have left to adapt. So I'm kind of like, dang, it's over. But at the same time, it was going to have to end eventually. And I'll have like Donadon and Kaiju to keep me occupied. I guess the Demon Slayer movie is technically in the summer because it's September, at least outside of Japan.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to that. As I said at the start, I'll give you my money straight away, and I won't be disappointed.
Are they doing reshowings of Mugen Train where you're at?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because they just put up our tickets for the Mugen Train reshowing, which I kind of want to go to, but I may not be free. Like, I need to make time for it.
Let's see. Demon Slayer. Oh, they are reshowing Mugen Train. When are you showing Mugen Train? Oh, I want to see this. Yeah, 15th of May. Dude, oh, literally right now.
I'm in.
That's insane.
I saw it originally, I think, 5 times in the theater on the original run because I didn't know when the Blu-ray was going to come out and I was going to be able to watch it again. So I tried to like absorb it as much as I could. So, but yeah, Demon Slayer movie is going to be crazy hype. September, October is going to be incredible for me. Hopefully I'll find the time to make videos about all of it. We'll see. But I mean, unless you have anything else you want to add, I think we can
I have to, for those of you who aren't in Australia. Oh well, this podcast is going to be sent like ages away anyway, but it is election day here in Australia. And I am doing my part by campaigning for, so here in Australia, the centre-left party is called the Labour Party, and the centre-right party is called the Liberal Party. And I am campaigning for the Liberal Party today, because the guy the representative I'm with is really cool. He's a Singaporean businessman. He's Christian. He's based. He did his part in trying to like protect religious schools from being regulated by the government. So that's why I freaking love this man. So, well, as much as a straight man can love a game, a straight man can love another straight man, I should say. So yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm straight off to do. So
that's fair. Well, I will give you the floor here. Would you like to plug your channel?
Oh, yeah,
any
totally.
videos that are upcoming?
Yes.
What you've got going on?
So, of course, I've just changed my catchphrase. So once you go on my channel now, you'll see this, which is I'm Podcast Son, host of the Christian Anime Podcast. I'm not a pastor. I'm just a normal guy talking about how anime is Christian. May videos that are coming out are really exciting. I've got how the slice of life anime led me closer to Christ and why anime has better female protagonists. I'm really excited when that comes out later this month. In June and July are the months of Demon Slayer, where I've got how Demon Slayer is a Christian anime, the anime that literally has Satan, how Demon Slayer teaches Christian theology, and I'm really excited for when the Demon Slayers versus Demon Grifters video comes out, and that's a video comparing how Demon Slayers should actually look like, how this pastoral group called the Demon Slayers are just a bunch of grifters, and they should be like the Demon Slayers in anime and not like scam people. And I've got a video coming up called "If God Real, Why Bad Thing Happen" in July as well. So
that's good.
And if you want early access to all of those videos, you can become a channel member. Not an Oomphy rookie. Oomphy rookies are those if you just want to support the channel on really base level. If you just want the badge, that's what you support me on. Otherwise, to get early access to videos, you can be an Oomphy militia at $3.99 Australian, which is like what, $2 American. Or if you want to super support the channel, you can be an Oomphy general at $14.99 Australian, which is $8 or $9 American, I reckon. So yeah, there you go. That's my plug.
That's good. That's good. Go check him out. Links will be in the description. As for me, I mean, you guys know where I'm at. I'm here all the time, every 2 weeks, doing stuff. We'll be back 2 weeks. Not sure what we're talking about yet. I have a couple guests lined up with a topic, but I need to make sure we can actually like record it. So I'm not going to say it yet, just in case it changes. But yeah, we got one more episode with guests, and then hopefully Jackson will be back. We'll see. New setup, new digs, working on that kind of stuff. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this episode where we just kind of chatted about anime, had a casual chat about anime, what we've been watching, what we're getting into, then head over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. It means the world to us. Share this podcast with someone who you think might want to listen to us talk about anime. And you can check out some of our other episodes. We've got 151 of them, so there's plenty of things for you to go listen to. But if that's not enough, you can go check us out on Instagram at the Nerdiest Podcast. And that's the only social I have to plug. You can watch on YouTube, youtube.com/Nerdiest Podcast. You can buy our merch, do all that cool stuff. You guys know the drill. I'm not great at doing outros. That's Jackson's whole spiel. That's why this one feels really off and hunky-dory. But until the next episode, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.